Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't.
Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only, Red's View. I am your gracious host, Jay Red, and as you know, I always do exclusive interviews. And today I have a very, very special guest. He is a West Coast great. We got the one and only Kokane. What's happening, man?
Man, big ups, man. Shout out to everybody out there, and I love that shirt right there.
You already know, man. Listen, I've been following you since I got on because I'm younger. So I was born in '88, right? So I grew up off of the Ruthless, Death Row, West Coast. That's what inspired me to actually do music, and music led me to doing what I do now, which is Red's View. And I love just interviewing all the OGs and everybody new and young, and everybody still relevant and stuff. But I followed you back when you were with Ruthless, man. Two of my favorite songs by Eazy-E ever, me and my brother, Any Last Words and Neighborhood Sniper. Right? And you were on those hooks, man. Like, oh man. So if you could just start right there, because it's, you know, this whole Ruthless thing. I love Bone Thugs, Ruthless, all that stuff. So yeah, let's just start right there, man. How did you link up with Eazy-E?
Well, I linked up with Eazy-E through my cousin, Cole 187 from the prolific group called Above the Law.
Yes, sir.
They were connected to Laylaw and Gomac, the DJ Above the Law, the Laylaw and Gomac brothers. You know, so back in '89, when Above the Law was just getting seasoned at Ruthless Records, I was the next one to follow up. So I did a 3-song demo and first signed a production deal through Law House, which was Laylaw, who was a contributing member of NWA. And after I signed, after Code 187 did my demo, you know, Laylaw shot it to, we shot it to Eazy-E and Ruthless Records. And it didn't take long for me to get signed at all. Mm-hmm. You know, Eazy was real big on controversy. And, you know, Above the Law, NWA, now the most controversial name, Kokane.
Yeah.
And how I got my name is my cousin gave me my name, because at first it was called Jay Golden, MC Jay Golden. We were straight on some B-boy, still incorporating all the Parliament and funk type of sounds, because, you know, also we come from a musical background. You know, my dad was an established writer, composer, and arranger at Motown, and Uncle Willie Hutch is my uncle. So music was in our DNA. But moving back forward in '89, my cousin said, you got to change your name from Jay Golden to this name I'm about to give you. And I was like, nah, man, I don't I don't want to do that, because, you know, I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandparents coined me Jay Golden.
Yeah.
And Hutch was like, no, it's nothing against Granny and Grandpa, but we with the guys, the world's most dangerous group. So therefore, you know, you got to shift his name, and I got a name for you. And I said, what is it? He said, Kokane. I sat back like 8 seconds, and I said, hey, man, that's the dopest name in the game. Let's run it.
Yeah.
So that started that right there. And like I said, we did a 3-song demo, shout out to Eazy. And '89, you know, I was functioning with Ruthless Records. You know, so that was the starting point. And that was amazing, you know what I mean, to me. Because, you know, Boys in the Hood and all that, you know, they was cracking, you know, on the West Coast. And, you know, I kind of wanted to have my music go that type of direction, because we always, you know, I always incorporated reality street songs, comedy songs, and, you know, growing up off Ice-T and Mixmaster Spade and all those cats, you know, King T, DJ Pooh out here. Of course, the New York explosion from Rakim, Just Ice, Juice Crew, Kool Herc, Fat Boys, all of just a list, Run DMC, a list of things. It was a combination of things. And, you know, Ruthless gave us a chance to really express where we came from. It's not like Eazy said, okay, you're going to do this, this, this. He let us do, you know, what we brought to Ruthless Records, because we brought something different to Ruthless Records. They will mostly incorporate things like with a lot of break beats and different other things, so they was considered a West Coast bomb squad.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we came from a perspective of slowing it down, sonic sounds, doing different harmonies that normally people don't do. We were really mirroring Parliament and Funkadelic with the sound. So we didn't really want to call it P-Funk, we call it G-Funk.
Yeah.
So that was the start and origin, coming from Pomona, California and South Central, is that we are the architects of what this music you call G-Funk.
Right, exactly. And one thing that people always said, I'm glad that you brought that up, because they always give the credit to Dre for making that funkadelic type of, you mix it in for the G-Funk. But I've seen a lot of people more so give 187 Cole 187 Killer from Above the Law that, because he was actually producing it. It's like, wouldn't it be fair to say that he was one of the first ones to promote, like to bring in the G-Funk?
Well, I mean, it's not like we knew it was going to become, a global phenomenon.
Right.
We was at Ruthless Records. Dre inspired us. We inspired Dre. But words like Ballin', Chronic, words like even for Shizzle, words that we had and made up, and the style of music, call it what you want. I mean, even Tupac said, I'm from the G-Funk, but you can call it what you want, long before you heard anybody say it. Mm-hmm. So, in this game, somebody's inspired by somebody, just like Sly and James Brown influenced Parliament Funkadelic. Mm. You know what I mean? And Parliament Funkadelic influenced Prince.
Right.
So it's the same type of thing, but at that time, when it was Ruthless versus Death Row, or Death Row versus Ruthless, some of the concept we feel, we knew it got hoodwinked, and wasn't nobody crediting us, at that point in time. It's different now. Everybody's starting to tell the real. Mm-hmm. But back then, it's like, if you listen to Black Mafia, it's really ironically sound like a mirror actually Chronic sound like a mirror of Black Mafia, rather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it put us into a mode. We was dissing each other. And, when I look at it, man, it's like, now it's a blessing that the mystique is broken, because we are the architects. Hutch is the originator of the style called G-Funk. You know what I mean? But all of us are the architects, because he used to build around my vocals all the time. Rest in peace, KMG, Total Chaos, Gomac, Laylaw. We would all have ideas, and sonically, Hutch would be the Quincy Jones to mastermind that. And I remember a funny story, man. It's not really a funny story, it's just a story.
Right.
And it's real. We were at, long before the Death Row explosion was about to happen, and Dre was about to leave. We were still on Niggas for Life. That was the actual album I first got my platinum status on. Mm-hmm. But Dr. Dre was in the car with my cousin, and I remember like yesterday, and we're playing Black Mafia, like, I'm not bragging, just out there lagging, you don't wanna fuck with me. I'm on that song too. It's called Never Missing a Beat. And Dre said, man, what's that y'all do, man? I said, man, this is our style of music called G-Funk. Mm. This is us. This is what we created. You know what I mean? So, it has some major influence on cats like him, Warren G, because Warren G used to stay with us too, and definitely had an influence on Snoop. Snoop auditioned for us way before Death Row's experience, for Above the Law. And because actually Above the Law, Cole 187 was going to put out Snoop first.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was going to put him out. So at that time, there was a lot of discrepancies going on at Ruthless. That was, the shit was about to hit the fan. Right. Dre was about to leave. We were on our way of sharing the same discrepancies, that was at Ruthless. And Eazy wanted to work it out, because actually the first people that was going to be on Death Row was Above the Law and Kokane. Mm. You know what I mean? Because we was going to leave Ruthless because of those business discrepancies. But we worked it out with Eazy-E. You know, he was the champ of all champs, and he said, I'm gonna get this right. I'm gonna make sure Jerry Heller gets all situations correct. So we rekindled our business relationship, and it was a beautiful thing. But Dr. Dre, he was already set on leaving.
Mm-hmm.
He done seen Ice Cube leave, boom. So at that time, by then, Dr. Dre heard all the elements of what we do as G-Funk, Above the Law, and he was going on his own when he left Ruthless Records.
Mm-hmm.
And he called Hutch and said, man, I know you're working with Snoop Dogg, but Warren G just brought this tape up here, and he's at this party, man, and I don't want to be disrespectful, man. Do you think I had the blessing to mess with Snoop? And Hutch said, man, I ain't no hater. I'm working on the cocaine. Go ahead. You know, let him get his off. You know, it was all like, you know, even though we knew you left, it was like we homies.
Right.
But then when the shit hit the fan, all of a sudden we heard these diss records on Blunts and Tanqueray. And I'm like, well, who's Dog Pound? I know Snoop. I ain't make Daz. And them Daz and them came from Oklahoma. And Corrupt came from Philly.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know them niggas like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is straight face. I'm not dissing them, it's facts.
Right.
So anyway, they dissed us. They took our concepts at the time. Everything is fine when you're rolling with your homies in a little bit. And you could tell, you know what I'm saying? So it was all, it's so deep, man. Like 3 or 4 months after Dr. Dre left and he took Snoop with him and everything, all of a sudden, we hear them dissing, using our words, using our concepts, using basically just hoodwink a lot of the things, not to take away some of the clever things and creative things they did themselves. Mm-hmm. But Above the Law and Cocaine was a big influence to Dr. Dre, and now he got Snoop at that time. Mm-hmm. So when that happened, it was like, why y'all took our shit. Yeah. Basically, y'all took our shit and ran with it. You know what I mean? So they had did successfully, but then Ruthless was doing successfully too. You know, he had Dr. Dre, 187 Killer. That's where the Any Last Words was on. Mm-hmm. And we was going at them and they was going at us. But they were a little bit more ahead of the game because of one movie that really set it off. And that was the Deep Cover soundtrack, what actually introduced Snoop, who a lot of people don't know. Kokane is actually one of the only Ruthless artists besides Poor Broken Lonely that's on a death row orientated soundtrack, because we were all hanging together. Suge, us, everybody was hanging, but things started falling apart. You know what I mean? And after things fell apart, it was just like, oh, you know, I seen Death Row at the American Music Awards, so I was on one, went up there, and it was like, nigga, fuck you, Corrupt. He was like, nigga, fuck you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, nah, nigga, you niggas took our shit. Niggas wasn't saying nothing then. You know what I mean? So I went through a whole revelation of things, and they were going after us. We were going after them. And, you know, Eazy really wasn't tripping until he was forced to trip. You know what I mean? Because niggas try to do what they do, try to make you sign papers. But, you know, Eazy wasn't no punk. Right. You know what I'm saying? And all that little things that you see from the NWA movie and the G-Funk thing, well, there are certain things that are messed out that I'm telling you, you know, and it's timelines, factual timelines behind there. Mm-hmm. So we was going at them, and, you know, I tripped because we were all friends before this, and then now we see ourselves, you know, riding out like this. And I get it, because it's just like the gang. You know, people grow up in elementary with each other. One nigga move over there, another nigga move over there, and they become enemies. So right. It's like, I don't care. I'll jack you. I'll take you niggas. I ride for my crew. You know what I mean? So I got it. But after like Eazy-E passed, a lot of those things subsided. And, you know, that was a great loss. You know what I mean? Because Eazy was our West Coast Russell Simmons. And without Eazy, there wouldn't be no Death Row, all the way trickling down to your 50 Cents and your M&Ms.
Speak on.
You know, so that kind of put me in a dark moment. And at the time, you know, I had 3 babies, you know what I mean, that I had to feed. And I felt it was time to leave Ruthless Records after all that, that went on, and, missing the homie. I'm like, well, my chapter with Ruthless is forever. But in particular, because the homie gone, I got to move on. Mm-hmm. So I moved on and put a lot of the Death Row and Ruthless beef behind me, and signed to a record label called Scotty Brothers, because we wanted to make a song, in dedication to Eazy-E. So me and Yella, DJ Yella, did a song called This Is For The E, Real Compton City G, and that did good. And that was a form of healing for us, because we really dearly miss that brother still to this day. And that moment, being on NWAs, the beef, the this and that, the good, the bad, and the ugly, it actually created a safe haven for the legendary Kokane for me to do what I'm doing now, being the most featured artist, just getting on hooks after hooks. They definitely paved the way. Like I told you, in 91, my first platinum record was actually introducing a character called Sweet Talk. Well, all right, y'all across the USC. They we know, no walk through the shower, real nigga. The type of Donald Goins talk.
Right.
So that set me up good, because they didn't, when I first, not to take you everywhere, I hope y'all follow me, but it's so much in the pot of gumbo. It's like a docu-series.
Right.
But I'll tell you this, and then we can move on. They were so scared of saying my name, Kokane. When we signed to Epic Records, Eazy-E was the first person to make a big, gigantic deal with Poor Broken Lonely, Above the Law, and myself. So when I was at Epic Records, they were scared to say my name. And it's a trip. They turned it around just when it was ready to come out and call me, Who Am I? You know what I'm saying? So that's the same type of style Snoop used, Who Am I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At that time, to let you know the influence. So people were going to the stores looking for some cocaine. You know what I mean? And it didn't matter if we changed it around, to represent, man, when you listen to Cocaine Funk, you're going to get high, you're going to get hooked. You know what I mean? They didn't care. White folks didn't care about that. It was just like, we don't want to play that. So that shut a lot of doors. But it's something about shut doors. They either you can dwindle down, or it inspired to get up on that court and nigga, I'm gonna put my nuts on your chin. Bah!
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I put my nuts on their chin. Bah! You know what I'm saying? Because music was in us and not on us. And just the whole revelation of the 90s, was a gigantic explosion, man. That really set the tone for your Nipsey Hussles and, your upcoming artists and Mustards and different other things. But the Wild Wild West in the 90s, man, you talking about cracking?
Man.
It was cracking, man. Like, and then Pac, man, right after Pac came through, Pac got out of jail, and that's my little bro, man. That's my family. He always used to come out here in the early 90s when we all in the same gang in the Nickerson Gardens. We had mutual business relationship through Atrian. Shout out to Atrian, who managed Digital Underground. And Pac used to come out here when he had the Gumby. You know what I'm saying? And he always used to mix it up with Above the Law, Lay Law, and Cocaine, And I used to have songs like, sometimes I feel like my day is coming, won't you free my mind? So Pac was always adamant about those I'm finna go type songs. We were just making those songs, not trying to call things into existence. But that also, Above the Law and Cocaine experience rubbed off on Tupac as well. A lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean? I'm the one that's on Homies Call. Well, all right, y'all, when the Homies Call. It shows that we did in the past. So when Pac got out of jail, I remember it was right after Eazy had passed, a little bit more after Eazy passed, and I seen this bald head right down the street, and we stopped, and that was Pac, and I heard he got out. That nigga looked at me and said, "Cocaine, Spice One, my nigga." So we go bank the corner. We stand at the Mondrian, right? And we just got through doing a record with Ant Banks, Ice-T, Too Short, Spice One, and myself. And we stand at the Madrian, so Pop come and kick it. He said, I got a new concept, new everything. I'm coming out with the new nation. I got a new, he felt Pop, like Pop, you know, he's misunderstood. A lot of people look at him for like, nah, he was just a solid cat, just a little wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Pac said, man, I want you niggas to come over here. And we went to the Valley. I remember like it's yesterday, up Sherman Way, where he stayed. And we made up that song called Fortune and Fame. Something we all adore, something we dying for. Nothing but pain, stuck in this game, searching for fortune and fame. You know, that type of shit.
Yeah.
And I remember he, right before we went to Can-Am to record it, me, him, and Spice One, I remember he got a phone call from Quincy Jones' daughter. He don't know phone, arguing with her. He's like, fuck this shit, man. Let's go to the studio and lay this shit down. So we go lay this shit down. And it just came out like magic, you know, because we was with Pac before, you know. They call it What You Want with Above the Law in 92.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On Black Mafia Life. You know what I mean? When he said, I'm from the G-Funk, but you can call it what you want. So all I'm doing is just giving you a timeline. So like Pac was going to New York and he said, you know, some months, like a couple months. And he said, man, I want you and Spice to come hang out with him. You know what I'm saying? After he came back from New York. And, you know, he was like, the fight's going down. Y'all part of the nation, because we was kicking it with him on the set of Loving the Bullet with him and Bad Breath, John Belushi, James Belushi. You know what I'm saying? So we was roasting him. But Pac was like, man, we got a hit record. I want you to Spice One, man. Come kick it with me. And at that time, I had a record at Scotty Brothers. So I couldn't go nowhere. I was, you know, I had to work my record. You know, this is for the E, and this, I had a cut called For Riders Only with Code 187. And Spice One, he had to do some things. So we couldn't make it to Vegas. We said, we see you when you get back. And that's a trip. That'd be the last time I seen Pop. You know what I'm saying? Because B Legit hit me up that day and said, he said, man, it's not no good news. I thought he was playing. But then I knew he was serious, and I couldn't help him. I put the phone down, shed a tear, and I was like, wow, I was supposed to be out there. Me and Spice were supposed to be out there. And I was like, Lord, I didn't know that was going to be the last time that I, you know, get to see Pop. So it hit me again, you know. We lost Eazy.
Right.
And now Pop.
Yeah.
So now that put me in a darker place.
Man.
But it allowed me as a poet to work so hard, you know, more than your average. But it put me in a place of real darkness, so I resorted to drugs at that time. And most people do. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're going through something. But I was very functional. I did my work. I could clean up and do the tap dance. But it was that darkness that fell upon me. But the good news about it is that I always had a queen in my corner, which is going on 37 years together next year and 8 kids by that woman. I take pride in that. She allowed me to do what I'm doing. She prayed for me and different other things, and I cleaned it up. And, you know, that's when, you know, me and Snoop re-linked back in because we was friends before. In 1999, before that, I did something with Street Institute. So Trey D and Lil Hab there was doing a lot of things up there. And then that was the beginning, you know. Snoop sent the kite. I sent it right back to Lil Hab did. 1999 was the beginning of Doghouse. I mean, he had Doggy Style before, but this was Doghouse. We had Goldie Loc. He had, you know, Big Trey D.
The East Side.
Yes, the East Siders, myself, Battle Cat, Fred Rig, Meech. Even Scott Storch was over there doing stuff. Pump Your Brakes, Doggy's Angels, E. White. You know what I'm saying? And Nate Dogg, of course, the, you know, Dog Pound, the usual group. But what I was able to do is have freedom over there to give them my sound, you know what I mean, and introduce what Kokane brought to the game. And Snoop recognized that. That's why he put me on so many songs on Last Meal. Dr. Dre linked back in, was on the Chronic 2001. And definitely Deuces and Trays, 10, 11 songs, 3 songs on Snoop Dogg Presents. Just a slew of hits over there. You couldn't tell us shit. You know what I mean? We had the world on lock when Snoop came out and like, oh no, big Snoop Dogg back up in the Eazy, baby. We had this game on lock. But what goes up must come down. And in 2005, things started to disband. We had a group at called the Doggy All Stars with E. White, LaToya Williams, and Superfly and myself. But unfortunately, MCA filed Chapter 11. And that was because technology was just wiping people out now. And we didn't anticipate that at that time. You know, there's no warehouse, no Tower Records. You know, that was when technology was a silent killer. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I moved out. I moved away from California. I did a little punk-ass county lid because I was in a dark place again. Like, damn, here I am thinking we about to, all the stuff that I did over there at Doghouse, and now we with MCA, and I finally get a chance to get my album, which we had an album called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Kane. I had everybody from Luda to Jazzy Faye on there, to Jagged Edge, to Goody Mob. It was a cracking album. But it never did surface because we fell victim like sacrificial lambs of a company, MCA. Man, I never thought they filed Chapter 11. So got into a little trouble. And once I got out of trouble, you know, God talked to me and he said, it's time for you to move on, man. I want you to move out of California. I'm like, no, I want you to move out. All the signals was there. So I moved out of California, grabbed my wife, and I left all the furniture at this old house I was renting. I didn't want none of it. Because I left it all behind, and it was a release, brother. You know what I'm saying? And that was the beginning of us starting Buddy Boy Entertainment, going on 14 years now with my queen. And it's a beautiful thing, man, when God touches your life and he tells you go that way, go that way. But I had to be in that broken situation for God opportunity to even listen. Because sometimes we don't listen until we're broken. And you just feel in that void, man. And, you know, one thing I want to tell you, thank you for letting me take this podium.
Thank you.
Because I like to, you know, really articulate things that are very important that were left out of movies and everything else. And, you know, it's to educate newcomers that did not know about the history and origin of cocaine, music royalty, you know, family stability, ups and downs. You know what I mean? So this can potentially inspire others. So I appreciate that. But this is the new beginnings, fam. Buddy Boy Entertainment. Man, that was a good move, man. That all those 3 points of darkness that I had, you know, besides my mom passing, you know, certain people passing, you know, I took it as Kodak memories, and I cherish those days. It would help shape my character today, and I'm real thankful for that.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to. I always say that I'm glad to see people that I grew up listening to in the 90s, because in the early 80s too, that's my favorite era of music, especially that whole West Coast, you know, that whole West Coast movement that y'all did have with even when you go all the way up to when you were heavily featured on Snoop when he was with No Limit on the Last Meal album. You know, you were on so many songs on that one. And then also one of my other favorite songs was that Spitting Policies with U, Cube, and Dub C. One thing about your style, right? Your style is very diverse. I call it just West Coast because it's a couple of things when I think of West Coast music, right? I think of the Funkadelic G-Funk stuff, right? But also this sound that you have it, and then addition to Snoop, like it's just this type of sing-songy type of West Coast bounce with the synthesizers and stuff like that. Like you being on hooks just reminds me of that. So how did you come up with that diverse sound that you have?
I've been doing that since the 80s.
Mm.
Long before you Drakes. You got to look at cats like how they were doing it. Slick Rick was really doing it.
Mm-hmm.
With the rapping and singing, and that's what inspired me. But to spin it off, I didn't want to be like just like Parliament. I wanted to be inspired by Parliament.
Right.
That's the difference. I didn't want to be just like singing and rapping like Slick Rick. I wanted to be inspired by Slick Rick. So I was able to take it to a level that was a spinoff of that inspiration. You know what I mean? And to have an actual real B-boy and to actually have a person that can actually sing and croon, I did something ahead of my time that years later, people don't know where they got it from.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we was doing that in the 80s, man. We grew up in a special time in the 70s, 80s where it was a combination of all kind of genres of music. From even the white boys was funky back then. Mm-hmm. Hall and Oates and even the rock and roll dudes, you know what I'm saying? We had that jazz. We had some of the disco. We had definitely the Parliament Funkadelic experience. We had soul music, you know what I mean? Those times, man, it helped shape me who I am today. That's why you can tell of the different diverse styles that I have are really contributed to those eras, the 70s eras. And it was go time when the 90s came in, to really do that. So this is the same two-step I've been doing since the 80s, brothers.
Mm. That developed sound. And like I said, it stand out because you even had like a reggae type of style on the Neighborhood Sniper. With that, that's like I said, that's one of my favorite Eazy-E songs. But yeah, you had like a very diverse, because I remember when I think that may have been when I look back at it, my first time. I probably heard you before, but that was the first time I actually seen you in a video at that time. And I was like,
that was a cold video right there.
Was.
That was the first time. That was one of the big a rapper ever had a big budgets with actual helicopter fighters was flying down in downtown LA. That's how powerful Eazy was.
Mm.
Budget just the video almost costed $1 million.
Mm.
He did something outside of the box, walking down the sides of buildings. He set the tone, and he allowed me to put that, that Kingston, Jamaica. That's where I'm from. My family roots is from Kingston.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? My grandfather from Kingston.
Mm.
So we was like, some of them run up and get that league.
Yeah.
Eric was like, run it. We using that. But see, it goes back to, Eric having an ear, outside of just Compton. He messed with Pomona Cats. Doc was from Texas. Bone Thugs from Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
He messed with the essays at a time where blacks and essays really didn't get along. Now it's cool now.
Mm-hmm.
But he did that with Toker and them. See, he was different. And those experiences rubbed off on me. And I think that helped contribute to, messing with all kind of ethnic groups from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rakim said it best. It's not where you're from, it's where you're at.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. Those are all classic records and stuff. But let's talk about what you got out now. So you got a single called Monkey Wasn't Funky, right? Mm-hmm. I heard it. When I heard it, it instantly, I already knew, like, you got a diverse sound and a signature sound at that. That just made me just on my West Coast shit. Like I said, you have like one of the perfect sounds for like West Coast vibes. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just makes you want to do a two-step. It just make you want to, just throw up the dubs and just do whatever. So, yeah. So how did you come up with that song, man?
Hey, man, you gotta tap into the universe.
Mm.
I was seasoned by George Clinton in Parliament. I legitimately got my funk card by him, Cameo, Uncle Larry Blackman, besides my dad and Uncle Willie Hutch. And they always used to tell me, you got to be on the one. You got to tap into the universe.
Yeah.
So I've always been a writer that over the years it grew more into me. Let the beat write the song.
I
The
agree.
beat write the song. That's how I learned to overcome writer's block. I always vibe off a song. So when I heard the beat from this incredible musician who's been studying us over the years, it's my nephew. His name is Mofak from Paris, France. He shot me the beat, and I said, that beat is for me. The universe sent that to me. You know what I mean? So when I did the song, the words just came out. Boom, 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 boom. I wrote the song in 30 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. Everything. Boom, boom, boom. Then we went to the studio. The song got laid down in 1 hour, all vocals from top to bottom. And that's just one person. That's just me on all background vocals, all the little things, the amenities in between. And it's only one producer. You know what I'm saying? Which is Mofop. And I felt good about that because, you know, when you see Quincy Jones or my father or different, you know, different Holland Dozier, it was just them. They didn't need a billion people, a billion features, and none of that.
Right.
So we tap back into that essence to where, like, man, we on a one, this is a bad record. And then I got with my team, and my team came up with a clever idea to go ahead and say, man, this needs to be a dance contest. So we started out with $1,000. But then when we put the word out there, man, at a time where this COVID virus is hitting and they need music to go ahead and feel good, whether it's gospel or funky record, you know what I mean? The stars was lined up and all the people started participating all over the world. So we had to make this a top 10 list because we want to give love to the culture. You got kids coming to chiming in to this type of record, and I'm a 50-plus-year-old person. It's whether you're 6, whether you're 13, whether you're 20, whether you're 40, everybody from all over the world, from whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's Africa, whether it's Canada, whether it's Paris, Germany, Switzerland, Japan, Korea, Guam, Morocco, everybody just started chiming in, as well as the USA. So when we did that, man, we had top 10 lists on the Monkey Wasn't Funky dance contest. And it felt good, man, because I'll give you an example. The brothers from Tanzania, Africa, Dizzo and Sammy, they were so grateful, man, that I've never seen that like that. You know, I had called them and told them, man, y'all won the dance contest, Monkey Wasn't Funky. You know, and they dropped the phone like in disbelief. And you can feel the energy and the gratitude that they were happy to be a part of that song. That it really wasn't about the money. Mostly it was about the vibe of the song. And that showed me something, man. We got not only a potential hit record, platinum record on our hand, but we're really tapping back into the era to where you had to really have good music. Wasn't no substitution for good music. It wasn't forced all the time. You know, when they heard some good music, that good music hit the community. So this record now is hitting the community worldwide, and it's going to continue to grow when we got cats like yourself, you know, Cat X, DJ Despair, basically the whole team, you know who you are, that is really throwing up the funk signs and on this fantastic voice, letting them know this is the legendary Kokane. This is Monkey Wasn't Funky. It's going to get you off the wall when you lock down, feeling like you're trapped, but at least you got a record that can get you up and make you feel good.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. And you got an album on the way, right?
Yeah, the album won't come out till next year, so I'm putting out singles. But the trip is that I'm getting back to promote singles like albums, having the covers, because my son did the cover, and if you look at it, it is so dope. It is so like Parliament. You know what I mean? And that's another simple thing, a powerful bullet point that a lot of people don't realize. We used to buy records off just the cover.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because if you look at Ohio Players, Slave record, you look at all those records, the cover was eye candy. And then when you heard the music, that just really just like, man, made you feel good. So we definitely put some emphasis on this single, and we're going to give it some time. I'm not putting out nothing else until 3 or 4 months because I want to make sure this single hit everybody. And at the same time, I would love to send you guys a platinum plaque. That part.
Oh man, definitely. I'll be welcoming that with open arms, man. Yeah, definitely just to have in my collection, man. Because right now I've been going back and getting vinyls, like, because I need, these days these cars don't even have CD players in them no more. So it just made me, I needed something to hold in my hand. Cause I remember going to the record store, since I was a teenager, just buying stuff. But now I go back and get vinyl. So definitely.
And we got wax coming for the singles too.
Okay, man.
My daughter just put a single out. Her name is Anissa, AANA. Well, AANISAH, Anissa Long. She got a cut out right now called F-Boy Signs from a lady perspective. And like daddy, like daughter, man, she's singing and busting, man. It's a blessing to see you hand the baton down and the kids take it somewhere else. So, but yeah, we definitely putting these things on singles, tapes, CDs, and we bringing that back, man. There ain't nothing like it. And, the digital, nothing compares. When you talk about analog, the digital don't compare to that. When you talk about, the culture and records, we used to be excited about reading the credits. Well, you can't sign an autograph on a digital copy.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we getting back to where it belongs, and that's a blessing because the youngsters are starting to really pick up on it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't wait for that, man. You and Snoop, man. That album that he did called Bush. I was listening to that the other day, and I was thinking, like, man, if Kokane was on that with Charlie Wilson, like, y'all need to get together and do like a big collaboration or something, man. Another like an album like that. Like, I heard you all over that album, so you need to holler at Snoop, like, man, let's get on some Bush 2 or something like that.
We did some incredible things, me and Snoop, man. I got a lot of love for him. I call him Cal, he called me Jerry. You know what I'm saying? And we had our indifferences before, but like grown men, I just got through lacing a single and doing a video a couple weeks ago when I was out in LA. And we did some history. Look at Paid the Cost to Be the Boss, 220.
Yeah.
Just a lot of stuff when we was in the movie Old School, doing Paid the Cost when Will Ferrell went streaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just some rich history, that we have with each other. I'll tell you, the Doghouse explosion allowed me to, after that, it put the feature game for Coco on steroids because Puffy got at me, Busters, and just all the people over the world. I was always working. I worked my ass off for 30 years. To be over thousands and thousands of features, that sounds too much unreal. But people know I'm telling the truth because I got facts out there.
Oh, yeah.
Documented facts. You can see what I'm telling you. And it's just humbling, to be able to continue this on and have a new beginning because now, the youngsters is really starting to pick up, man. And this type of vibe, West Coast vibe, affected the whole game. You can go to New York and see, people cripping and blooding. And you could go over here and you can see the impact basically across the world from low riding to, how we talk that talk, so and go back again. It ain't where you from, it's where you at with it.
Yeah, definitely. Man, you pretty much had covered everything I was gonna ask you, man. This is one of the best interviews I've ever done. Like I said, I grew up on all of that stuff, and it's just nothing but nostalgia for me. Like I said, I rep Ruthless all the time, man. Yeah, for sure, man. So right now, but that single is available. Monkey Ain't Funky. Monkey Wasn't Funky. That's available on all streaming platforms.
Well, actually, they're midnight tonight.
Midnight tonight. Okay.
Midnight tonight comes out December the 4th. Well, after this interview play, make sure you go out and get it. And next thing up, we're doing this Monkey Wasn't Funky 3K DJ battle with DJs Now, we done touched the dancers, but in my opinion, man, we have to touch the DJs because DJs are an intricate part of any artist out there really doing what they're doing. There's not a lot of emphasis put more so on the DJs. And I'm real adamant when it comes to the DJs. You know, always being, you can check my file. I just didn't hop up and say, just because you're playing my record, I don't DJ. No, I've been talking that talk for years. Right. And we're doing this contest worldwide. And it don't matter where you're from, man. There's a lot of talented DJs. It don't matter what coalition, because I don't play that division stuff. You can be from anywhere. As long as we put this thing together and have love, you know, we're going to have some big DJ influencers come on. You know, the judges that's going to be there is DJ Despair, DJ King Assassin, Classic from the Fleet DJs, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. Definitely, we're going to continue this run with my main man, Cat X, you know, doing our thing. And me and DJ Despair, of course, got that Street Killers. But going back to this is about to be crazy, yo. I'm telling you, man, because I'm excited when I see the DJs. That's how hip hop, I fell in love because of what the DJs was playing.
Right.
How they were scratching the record. We used to take our old Granny's Fisher, fuck up her tape though. Sorry, Granny. But that was how we started, man, from that backyard boogie. And listening to the DJs is everything. So the DJs will be a contributing factor of this record really selling platinum. So we want everybody to get on it, you know what I mean, have a chance to win a little money. But most importantly, it's not about the money, man, more so about the love and the art of DJing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, man, Redheads, y'all heard it first, man. That single is dropping on December 4th. Make sure that you support it, stream it. It's a hot single. I've held on to it for, I got a chance to listen to it, man, and it's crazy. Legendary Kokane, man. Thanks again for coming through the show. What is your social media? Let everybody know where to follow you at.
Super simple. You can reach me on IG. Follow me at KOKANE _OG _. That's cocaine _OG _. I'm gonna do it in sign language. You also can follow my brand at on IG at Kokane, spelled the same way, at cocaine _brand, because I got a new clothing line. New street gear is about to hit the market anytime soon. And make sure you follow me on my Facebook at Jerry Long. I got 2 of them, and the Kokane fan page. Not hard to find. So, you know, if any artist all over the world is paying attention and you want some of that groovy funk on your platinum sound on your stuff, man, get it to Hook King, man. Most featured artists in the world. I'll lace your chucks, man. That's what it is. And last but not least, man, all DJs that want to enter the contest, make sure you load my peoples up, Cat X, DJ Despair, Classic, Fleet DJs, myself. Make sure you send your video clips right now, because we're collecting video clips of the mixes, doing the Monkey Wasn't Funky. And the top of the year, we're going to crack in the door with the hinges off with this DJ contest. Monkey wasn't funky.
Hey, man, hot, hot, hot. Make sure that y'all subscribe to youtube.com/We Authentic Network and hit that like button. As always, visit redsview.com and follow me at JAYR3D. This is J Red. This is Kokane, legendary Kokane, man, and we are signing out.
Blessings.
Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, give up, give up, give up. I know you got doubts, but get to the bag. Just follow the dream and stick with the plan. I know you get worried, I know you get scared.